Okay, this is my second journal entry, and today's date is May 23rd, 2015. I've just completed my 7th week at clinicals. I'm doing my rotation at Toledo Children's Hospital. And to be honest, I'm enjoying it. I've learned a lot. So far, so good. And if things work out, maybe I'll try and fill out an application and get a job there. But today I'm going to talk about a couple of things. The first subject I want to go over is time management. It's very important that you manage your time wisely. More importantly, you need to make sure that you are planning things ahead in advance and preparing for things to change when it comes to your time. Everyone's schedule is different. Some people have kids. Some people are still working part-time or full-time jobs. And it is especially important if you're in that situation, because if things happen and you have to make up hours or you don't have enough time to do what you need to do, you're going to be in a world of hurt. More specifically when it comes to things like homework, doing your homework. Don't forget about exams and tests, and most of all, preparing for your CST. That catches up to people real fast. Time is going by quicker than even I thought, and before you know it, I'm going to have my final exam, my CST, my certification test. So it's been very hard, at least this month, it's been very hard pulling myself away and finding time to do everything. Even when it comes to, I have a day off during the week, and it's been difficult getting everything done outside, everything that I have to do outside of clinic, just simple things like errands. Trying to find the time to get everything done in one day is hard. So you have to use every bit of free time you have wisely. If you know that, hey, I've got some free time, maybe I should study, maybe I should do some homework. Not at clinic, of course, but plan ahead. Making up hours. This is also very important when it comes to time management. For Brown Mackie students, we have to get 125 hours a month to pass. Me, I'm not 100% worried about this because I try and play it smart. I try and go more than the minimum. When I first started at Toledo, they wanted me to do 3 12-hour shifts. But I opted instead, I pretty much chose my hours. I opted instead to aim for 40 hours a week instead of 32, because 32 is pretty much the minimum. And believe me when I say that has saved me more than once, and it's going to save me again this month, because I always try and get more than the minimum. Even something simple like showing up 15 minutes a day for a week, that you add that up, you just added an hour. Staying late, showing up early. Hours are important, but you also need to remember you're there to get cases. I keep hearing stories about students who, oh, well, they weren't really trying to work here. They weren't trying to be here. Whenever, 3 o'clock came, they were out of here. They weren't trying to stay. 5 o'clock came, they weren't trying to stay and do cases. People tell me all the time to take advantage of my experience, and I am. So remember that. A couple of other things that I've learned just in this last month, and I know most students will face this eventually. The first thing that I already knew this, but it's always good to get a healthy reminder. Nobody's perfect. Nobody. Not you, not the people you work with, not other students, not your instructor. People make mistakes. Mistakes happen. The important thing is how you handle them, how you learn from them. It's okay to make a mistake. Don't let that shatter you. When you're out there in the middle of a case, you're new, everyone knows it. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes even when you're experienced. But what's important is how you handle those mistakes. Don't wear your emotions on your sleeve, okay? What I mean by this is it could be, if you're scrubbed in on a case, it could be something that, small, like handing the surgeon the wrong gloves. It happens. It's a mistake. If that happens to you, try to correct it if you can. Oh, I apologize. Kindly apologize. Oh, I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong gloves. Here are your real gloves. I try and correct it if you can. But I'm gonna let you know something. The next time you glove that surgeon, don't give him the wrong gloves. Give him the right ones this time. Learn from your mistakes. Move on. Or something that I did, passing an 11 blade upside down. I've done that a couple of times. It's very tricky. You gotta look very carefully at the tip. I've done that, and especially when they correct you, because this surgeon, it might have been a resident. He corrected me. He said, "You've passed me this blade twice, incorrectly twice." And I backed up. I apologized. I was like, "Oh, I apologize. I'm sorry. It won't happen again." And guess what? It has never happened again. It will never happen again. I'm always checking that blade now. I'm positioning it in a way, and even before I hand it off, I take a quick glance, make sure, okay, it's the right way. It's a simple mistake, and it happens. It might happen again, but I learn from it, and I try to do my best to make sure it doesn't happen again. And that's what you need to do. The other thing that I've learned is when it comes to people in the workplace, they have, when you get used to working in the same place, you get comfortable. You get really, really comfortable. But as a student, you shouldn't feel comfortable to say and do whatever you want. I've seen preceptors who will actually talk back to the surgeon. I had a preceptor, and they actually, when the surgeon would make, comments or whatever, this particular scrub, they would like talk back or make comments back to them. And I was shocked. And I know I was completely shocked that they would do that and that they got away with it. But guess what? I'm not going to talk back. And as a student, you shouldn't talk back either. You are not an employee. You are a student. But even if you were an employee, you have to be careful what you say. This person has been working there for well over a decade. So they're comfortable. And maybe one day I'll get comfortable or get close to some of these people where I feel comfortable to do it. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I'm just throwing that out there. It happens. People put their guard down, but that's also a way to set yourself up for trouble in the future. Who knows how those situations can blow up? And I'll give you an example.